So Grass Grind family, this is Chris back on the Grass Grind. I wanted to talk today about snow removal, snow plowing, and salt service, and a couple of things that the top 10 things that we've learned from snow removal. First thing is having the right equipment. Okay, you got to make sure if you're doing commercial lots, you want to have a plow. Starting off, you don't need the most expensive plow. You want to make sure you have a salt spreader, and I recommend a good shovel. We have a Snowcaster, which is a shovel with wheels on it. Makes it so much better, so much easier. And we also have a manual spreader where we can just put a bag or two of 50-pound bags of salt, walk through the sidewalks, and I mean, it makes the job a lot easier. The second thing is know your rates in your area. Okay, before you get into snow plowing, we did a lot of research. We checked to see exactly what the prices were, how much for salt. You have to do a lot of research. I made a lot of calls and said, hey, what do you think about this pricing? How to price the salt, how to price the plow, and that will help you in the long run. Because if you don't know, if you don't know what your rates are, you're either gonna be way too high or you're gonna be working for free, and you don't want to do either one. Okay, so make sure you know your prices in your area. Okay, super important. Let's see, number 3. Okay, shop around for salt prices. Okay, when we first started out, we just went to, I think it was Lowe's or Home Depot, and we saw some bags of salt and they seemed like it was a good price. We went out there and bought a whole skid. Luckily, with the mix up on the salt bags, we got it for a fairly good price. I think it might have been $5, $5.50, somewhere in there. But you want to call around and you want to try to get your salt, I believe $5 a bag or below. Below is a lot better, of course, but you want to shop around instead of just going out there and saying, hey, I found some salt, I'm ready. Okay, very important, because the higher the salt, the less profit that you'll make. Okay, so that's super important too. Let's see, number 4. Okay, make sure you have a great contract. Okay, make sure you proofread your contract. That way, that covers you from any incidentals. If someone would try to sue, it lines out when you will be there, when you will salt, how much your salt pricing is. Also, if you have a trigger amount, which is, 2 inches, 1 inches, no trigger. Some companies they want to try to keep it as dry as possible. You have to make sure in your contract you line those things out. That way there's no confusion, and you know exactly when you're going to be there. They know exactly where you're going to be there. The prices are right on the contract. Make sure before you even start the property, the contract is signed. That way there's no confusion in that. Okay. A good thing, one thing that I forgot is that you have to separate in your pricing, salt pricing and plow pricing, which I made a mistake on one of the contracts, but I quickly clarified that, and that would have been iffy because it was a signed contract. So make sure you have your snow plow with salt price and just your salt price. Okay, you need to make sure you have a salt only price. That way it's clarified, everybody's on the same page. Okay, let's see, number 5, go to the property that you're going to be working on. Okay, It's easy to look on Google Maps, put in the address. Also have different apps that you can go to, and you can just put in the address, you can measure it. But the problem with that is that we've had a client that has a very steep driveway, okay? And looking at it on Google Maps, you wouldn't be able to tell. So you have to be able to price that differently, go to each one and make sure you know the terrain, what you're dealing with, what the property looks like. If you know, if the driveway is already crumbling or if the sidewalks are already damaged, you want to make sure you notate that. Okay, let me take this call and I'll be right back. Okay, number 6, use snow stakes and be careful backing up. Okay, you want to make sure you put your stakes out. That way you know, once it starts snowing, it's going to be very, very hard to know exactly where the property lines are. Okay, yes, you can try to go by memory, but that's not the best thing to do, because if you get a lot of snow, everything is going to be blanketed in snow, and then you're going to get lost and not know where to plow. You might tear up shrubs, you may tear up grass. It's just a lot of dangers from doing that. Another thing is, if you have a spreader on the back of your truck, make sure that you're careful backing up. Okay, it's very easy to just back up. Oh, I got it. And you plow one way and then you're backing up, and then you have something in the way. So try to take your time, make sure you know what's behind you. That way it'll make it safer and you won't have any issues with that. Okay, number 8, this is something that I messed up on. Make sure you bring a lot more salt than what you need. Okay, it was a couple of instances where we had extra calls and we just had just enough salt for each one, and you want to make sure you bring extra salt. Okay, you never know what'll happen, so make sure you're prepared. You bring extra salt just in case. Okay, you may get a call on the way to your clients and you want to make sure that's covered. Okay, number 9. Okay, did I do number, let's see, I think I missed number 7. Number 7, okay, take care of your equipment. I know I'm kind of going back and forth, but take care of your equipment. When you're out there and you're salting and you're plowing, it's going to be a lot of salt, of course. It's a lot of wear and tear on your truck and your equipment. Okay, do not just go out, plow, salt, and then be like, okay, well, that's it, I'm gonna let it sit in the driveway until the next time it snows. Okay, you want to make sure, hold on a second, you want to make sure that you're able to get out there and keep your equipment clean. The longer that the more that you take care of your equipment, the longer it will last. Okay, so I recommend as soon as you finish, you make sure you spray it down, you spray the plow, you spray the salt spreader if you have one, spray underneath the truck, spray the whole truck, everything that you can find. And we like to spray it with WD-40 to make sure everything's lubricated. It puts a little kind of like a film over it. Some people like using different products, but that's what we do. And I spray it down every single time that we're finished. Okay, because that taking care of your equipment helps it to last longer. Okay, the last thing that I want to cover out of the top 10 things, okay, this is a 10-year investment. Okay, when you're going into snow removal, snow plowing, this is considered extra money. And I've seen this on a different video. This is extra money. So you may have winters where it snows a lot and you make $10,000, $20,000, and you may have a year where it's only $1,000 or you don't get a lot of snow. So just know going in that this is one of those investments that, you know, it's extra money, but you can't depend on it because you don't know whether it's going to snow or not. unlike lawn care, the grass is going to grow. Yes, you're going to have droughts. Yes, it's going to rain a lot, but it's going to, the grass is going to grow, okay? So just know going in, before you put a $10,000 investment, $5,000 investment, just know that this should be considered as extra money and not, what do I want to say? Not extra money, but just know that it's very iffy. You know, you might have a great winter, you might not have a good winter, okay? So these are the top 10 things that we have learned from doing snow removal and sodding. Hopefully this helps someone out there. This is Chris on the Grass Grind. Always invest in yourself and keep grinding every day, okay? You never know what you see on Grass Grind TV. Subscribe.